And the main difference there is that in the movie my name is spelled with an S, but in real life my name is spelled with a C. I can't really remember how I got involved. I do know that my dad was working for John's dad, and I think Johnny knew that I was acting and I was in a theater company in Connecticut, and he asked me if I wanted to be in it. I don't think that I auditioned, because I think if I had, he would have noticed that, you know, I was terrible, first of all, and that my voice, you know, could break eardrums, and he probably wouldn't have put me in his movie. And then Tom Castiello was in the theater group too, and I think that's how he got involved, but I don't even know if he auditioned. The biggest thing that I remember was choosing my wardrobe, and what a painstaking process that was. I mean, I took my whole wardrobe out of my closet and laid it all on the bed and picked, you know, earrings and socks and the right shoes and how I was gonna do my pants and the shirt I was gonna wear under my sweater. Like, this was hours and hours and hours of planning my wardrobe. And then I watch the movie and I think, oh my God, what, where, why did I do that? Why? What kind of clothes am I wearing? And why did no one tell me that it was so bad? But apparently I was, you know, fashionable for the 80s. But and the other thing was my hair, that it was very important that my hair looked good on camera. And that, you know, John and Trish would watch the footage from the day, and then they would report back the next day that my hair looked very good. You know, and that was another thing too, to wear the hair up in the banana clip, to wear it down. You know, that was really stressful, figuring out my hair situation. I was at a play with my family, and it was intermission, and we were outside, and we were just talking, and a girl came up to me and she said, "Oh my God, weren't you in the Woodchipper Massacre?" And I thought I was gonna faint. I thought I was gonna fall down on the ground, that somebody had recognized me, but it turns out that she was a friend of Tom Castiello's. So I don't really count that, because, you know, it wasn't like a random person on the street. It was just one of his friends. So, but my dad counts it, and he loves to tell that story. So yeah, that's my big recognition story. I have no movie credits. I did do a lot of theater in high school. I did musical theater, I sang, and I went to Northwestern University in Illinois, and I have a Bachelor of Music from Northwestern. I sang classical music, and I thought I was going to be an opera singer, and then I discovered I didn't want to be an opera singer, so I'm not doing that. But I did do theater a little bit in college, and voice in college, and since then I haven't done anything. I am the eternal student, so I'm back in school. I'm getting a master's degree in speech and language pathology. I just started the program, and contemplating a doctoral degree, but that's several years down the line, so we'll see.
So hey, I'm Tom Castiello. I was in Woodchipper Massacre. I was 12 years old at the time. Shot it in Ridgefield, Connecticut, my hometown. It was great. It was a fantastic experience. I did it with Denise, who was a real good friend of mine from a community theater in town. John and his family were amazing. We would go over to their house every day after school for about 3 months. Just had an absolute blast, so much fun. I didn't even know what was going on half the time in terms of you know, what he was shooting or how it was all going to look when it was done, but all I knew is that I was having a blast. And what happened to me? I graduated from high school. I moved to New York City when I was 21. I went to college for screenwriting at the School of Visual Arts, and I ended up getting involved with daytime television. I have been a writer on 3 different soap operas: As the World Turns, One Life to Live, and Now Young and the Restless. In 2001 and 2002, when I worked for As the World Turns, I took home a Daytime Emmy for Outstanding Writing in a drama series. It's my crowning achievement. Very, very proud of this. When I think about, you know, the steps that led me to want to move to New York and want to get involved in the entertainment industry, I definitely think Woodchipper Massacre had a lot to do with that. You know, I was a kid, and it all just seemed like fun and games after school to hang out at this guy's house and have his mom make us food, and we would totally just, you know, laugh and scream into the camera and pretend that, you know, we were running around with knives and stuff, and it was all just a blast. But I don't know. I think years later, John McBride really inspired me to just do what I wanted to do and to just follow my dreams. And you know, here was this guy in this little town who wanted to make a movie, and he made a movie, and I thought it was pretty spectacular. We had a great time. When I think about, you know, what his parents must have thought. You know, Denise and I were like 11 and 12, or 12 and 13, something like that, and you know, we were over there every day, just acting like ourselves and being goofy, and his poor mom, I had to stab her and kill her, and I just remember laughing so much and having just the best time. I remember the first scene that we shot was actually the dinner scene, when Aunt Tess is actually making that god-awful casserole, and I remember it was the first time we'd done anything together. It was at night, and we all just sat around the dining room table. John set the camera up, and he said roll in action, and it was just, we couldn't stop laughing. We couldn't keep a straight face, and I don't know if it was just like the excitement that we were all doing this or what, but I just remember it took us like 2 hours just to get through that one scene, the dinner scene, and that just set the tone for the rest of the time. We just, I don't know, I didn't want it to end. I didn't want it to be over. You know, when it was finally all done, it was really, it was sad for me. It was really sad. It was the first time I was involved in something that big, and it really, it was an amazing experience. And we all laugh about it now, and people who look me up on the internet say, oh, Woodchipper Massacre, that's so funny, and they see pictures of me with my big thick glasses and my braces, but I think overall, I wouldn't trade it for anything. It was a remarkable experience. It was so much fun. I can't even tell you how much fun it is. And I think all the time about John and his parents and Denise and Perrin and Kim and everyone involved in it. And what a great time that was in my life. And so I wish I still had my official Rambo Survivalist hunting knife. That's the one last thing I wish I still had from it. But I think it's somewhere in John's garage.
A very interesting thing happened recently. I wrote a column for a pageantry magazine, which was seen on the West Coast by John McBride, who directed and wrote Woodchipper Massacre. And he contacted the editors, who contacted me, and this is why I'm doing this DVD extra. I played the part of a dad, and in a way, I miss everything, because I have this home. It was shot, I think, at John's house in Ridgefield, Connecticut, and I have to go out of town, and I have 2 kids who now have to be taken care of by my sister. And there's an accident, and you'll have to see the film, or maybe you've just seen the film if this is an extra, so you know what happened. Somebody contacted me, maybe through a theater group, I don't know. I know that at about the time that this was written and we did this, there was a real incident, I guess you could say torn from the headlines, up in Danbury, Connecticut, where some man killed his stewardess wife and fed her through a wood chipper. Probably one of the more amateurish things I've ever done. I got the impression that, oh, I have a camera, let's make a movie. And I am surprised that it is getting as much attention as it is. I'm sure not all positive, but you know what? I'm kind of happy to be a part of it after all. There was lack of equipment. Had some good ideas, and basically I followed the script. I don't remember getting that much direction, but I had an idea on how the character should be played, so I just did it. But I didn't get to see that many people, because I'm missing in the whole middle of this film. I'll tell you something that I was really surprised at. I saw some of the visuals for this, and there's a poster that blew me away. I mean, the graphics are something else, and I think I saw the graphics before I saw the finished product. I mean, the finished product looks like it was done either 8mm or, well, it was done video. Was it video or digital? I think it was done video. I'm really not sure right now because it's 8 years ago. But I like the graphics. I don't know what that says about the film.
The Woodchipper Massacre was John McBride's follow-up feature to Cannibal Campout. It was loosely based on the Woodchipper killer in Newtown, Connecticut, the case of the husband who put his wife through a woodchipper. He was discovered because he returned the woodchipper cleaner than he rented it. And as the investigation proceeded, they found a tooth with a bit of bone attached on his property near the lake. And as a result, they were able to put tooth and two together. You have your crime and conviction. John's movie starred his mom and these two cute kids and a small cast beyond. And I was involved in some camera work for a couple of days on the feature. It was a lot of fun. It was basically done in his backyard in Ridgefield, Connecticut. And luckily I was able to put him together with a friend of mine, Joe Podesta, whose dad owned the concession to Major League Baseball and their studios. And as a result, the movie benefited from some professional editing and the the ability to use such high-end equipment. But it was a fun production to be involved in. I was only there for a couple of days, but still, I'm glad to have been behind the scenes on that.
Well, it would have been in my early teen years. I was at a flea market in Kentucky. I was looking over a very extensive selection of horror films, the entire wall of them. And I'd seen some that I'd heard of, some that I hadn't. And I saw this movie called Woodchipper Massacre, and it caught my eye. Very catchy title that it had. So I decide that is one of the movies that I'm going to buy. Well, I get home from this flea market, I watch this movie, Woodchipper Massacre. And I watched it over and over again, because it was one of the most amazing low-budget movies that I had ever seen. And it had always been my goal to find the most low-budget films possible, because of the fact that those are the movies that I have the most respect for. Now, I found out that it was directed by this guy named John McBride, so I had made it my goal to find any other work that John McBride had done. And so I got on the internet and found out that he had done this movie called Cannibal Campout. And I'd recalled seeing the cover art for this movie before in the past, so I decided to go check out various video stores throughout my area until I tracked down a copy of Cannibal Campout.
Don't bother searching the dial. This is the best you're gonna find in the middle of the night. It's the stupid movie of the week.
The worst movies ever made.
Video Bob's stupid movie of the week.
Welcome back to the Stupid Movie of the Week. I'm your host, Video Bob. Now this week's movie is an extra special episode because not only is it in color, but it was actually made within the last couple of decades. That's right, someone our age would have remembered seeing this movie. That is, of course, if you had actually stumbled upon renting it in the video store. That's right, this movie was actually shot on video for the purpose of video distribution. Now, I don't want to open up the floodgates and have people start sending me their home movies. The whole point of this video is, even though it was shot on video, it made it all the way to distribution. And I rented this video back in 1991 at a local mom and pop video store, and it became one of my top 10 favorite stupid movies of all time. And I've been waiting to debut it. And we've got an extra special surprise coming up later on in the show. So let's talk about this week's movie. It's called The Woodchipper Massacre. Now, it's based on a true story about someone who had frozen a body and chopped them up, run them through a wood chipper so that they were into tiny little pieces, and dispose of the body that way. I could think of a lot of ingenious ways to dispose of a body, but that's one of them I didn't think of. I mean, hey, you have to rent the wood chipper, right? Through the magic of technology, live via satellite, in his palace home in the Hollywood Hills, I have John McBride. He's the director and the star actor of the Woodchipper Massacre. Do we have you on the line there, John? How are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you doing, Bob?
I'm doing great. I'm glad. Yeah, I see that we have you here, live via satellite from the Hollywood Hills. That's great. So, big time actor, big time director. Got his movie in Blockbuster. Well, that's pretty cool. So we're talking about the Woodchipper Massacre, which was one of the first movies that you did. This was back in 1989.
1989,
right? Yeah, cool. So now this was shot on video with like a regular video camera, like the kind you could buy from a store, right?
Yeah, it sure was. It was a Super VHS Panasonic video camera, and right off the shelf.
Cool. And then, so I guess you got family members, friends to help you start on the movie?
Pretty much. But the camera was purchased because I knew I was going to make the movie. I didn't already have a camera. It was actually the second movie that I had ended up working on, and I needed a new camera with a nice new format. And at the time, Super VHS was the new format. By today's standards, it's...
Matter of fact, I have a copy I'm holding up here for the audience to see. This is a copy of Cannibal Campout, the first project you worked on, which was distributed and is a cult classic to this day.
Cannibal
and
Campout
now this was actually shot on VHS and edited on VHS. It never even made it to the super format.
No, I wanted to shoot on Super VHS because I knew it had better color quality and better overall look, and it worked out fine for the needs of the movie. I mean, there was no money.
So, how much does it cost to make a movie like this Woodchipper Massacre?
Woodchipper Massacre cost about $400.
$400,000? I mean, that's pretty good by today.
$400.
Oh, $400.
$400.
Oh my God! Well, that doesn't even include the cost of the camera, though.
No, the camera was a little bit extra.
$400.
But the only thing that I really needed to spend any money on was the rental of the Woodchipper, which I rented for one weekend only, and a little bit of post-production editing costs. And
wow,
that was about it.
The most amazing thing about this movie, despite the amateur acting or the lack of budget, is the fact that it actually made it to the shelves of videotape stores, and thousands of miles away from you, rented it, and it became one of my favorite movies of all time.
And to this day, that astounds me, that a movie that I basically made in my own house, in my backyard, for virtually no money, ended up being distributed all over the United States and all over the world. But you have to remember too, this was at a time when mom and pop video stores were at their all-time high. There were no Blockbusters, there were no Hollywood videos. It was all a mom and pop operation, and they were just clamoring for anything on video at that point. And Woodchipper was one of those titles that slipped through the door at the last minute to get distribution, and I'm very lucky that it happened, and I'm very thankful that it happened.
We were talking about some of the early production value of the movie. Now, you've done a lot of other movies like this. I know that I've seen floating around, on the internet and Amazon.com, and even in Hollywood video, Blockbuster video. Like, tell us about some of your other titles.
Well, actually, there's quite a bit out there right now. As we talked about before, the very first movie that I ever made was called Cannibal Campout, and that led on to Woodchipper Massacre. After Woodchipper, then, I hooked up with some filmmakers in Pennsylvania named Mark and John Polonia. And our first movie together was a small movie called Feeders, which was a science fiction movie about aliens taking over the world. And we were very surprised by the success that Feeders had. Blockbuster actually ended up distributing Feeders, much to our surprise. And it ended up just being everywhere.
Now, we're looking at you live via satellite here. You're at your home, your palatial estate there in the Hollywood Hills. And I think you've got some pretty famous neighbors. Who lives next door to John McBride?
Oh, let's see. I think McLean Stevenson might live next door. Or wait, he's dead, isn't he? Not many people do live around me because I live in a very isolated part of Hollywood Hills. It's the hill nobody's ever really likes to talk about.
It's not really a Hollywood hill. It's kind of a Hollywood bump.
It's kind of a Hollywood hovel. Yeah.
So I see that you have a nice little framed poster of Woodchipper Massacre there, and you're apparently wearing the same outfit that you wore in the movie. I guess times are harder than I thought.
Times are tough. Times are tough.
Yeah. It's hard to lose that look. And so, do you have any other props from the movie? Things that I know should be in the Smithsonian right now, but maybe you keep around the house.
Actually, I do.
Stuff from the movie.
This isn't actually something that's too good to keep around the house, unless you wanted to protect yourself from prowlers. But this is the knife.
Now, I recognize that knife. Isn't that part of the official OJ collection, or is that oh, that's the one from the movie.
That's right. That's right. This is the one that Tommy used to accidentally kill Aunt Tess with. And this is the official survivalist knife, and I've kept it all these years.
Yeah.
And maybe one day it'll show up on eBay. Maybe I need some new clothes, so I'm going to have to start selling stuff.
It's got to be worth a fortune already at this point. I remember when those were the biggest craze. Everybody after Rambo had to have one of those freaking knives, so I'm sure that's why you put it in there.
Well, they come in handy, and no home should be without one.
I agree. Well, I know that you're doing very well. Tell us about some of the other actors that were in the film. Now, I know that you had admitted that Aunt Tess was actually played by your own mother.
Yeah,
reluctantly did it because she didn't actually think anybody would see it. She didn't know she was going to be on national television.
No, she didn't, and she never knew that it was going to be distributed the way it was. But she is still talking to me. She's still talking to me, so that's okay.
So tell us about what about little googly-eyed Tommy there? Did he ever amount to anything? Is he making burgers at the local joint?
Yes, Tommy Casiello. He went on to do some really great stuff. As a matter of fact, he is now a staff writer on As the World Turns.
No kidding, really?
And he just won an Emmy for his work on there.
We have a picture of him in his. Let's show. Yeah, pull that up.
Yeah, show that picture.
Look at this guy with it. Oh, and that's him.
That's a
I guess he
real
got.
Emmy.
And he lost the glasses too. That's a real Emmy.
Yeah, it sure is. And
now, who did you crop out of the picture? Who was he standing next to? Other members of the staff?
I'd like to say me and that he won the Emmy for Woodchipper Massacre, but
hey man, I haven't won any Emmys.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have an Emmy to show you either.
And we learned a lot of information about making your own movie, and I think that this is a great way to let aspiring filmmakers know that there is a chance you can get out there and spend your hard-earned money and do a lot of work and end up on a totally worthless show just like this one.
But you can do that, and you don't need the money, and you don't need a lot of fancy equipment. You can just make a movie, so just do it. It is possible.
That's all you got to do. That's how I did this show. Of course, I have a lot of broadcast equipment because that's what our company does. But even if you just got a camcorder, camcorders are so good nowadays. It's so easy to make your own independent film, short or whatever. And maybe you could end up right here on Video Bob's Stupid Movie of the Week. So basically what we're looking for is cult movies. And the reason your movie, John, qualifies as a cult movie is because it's very hard to get, and there are a lot of people who actually want it. I mean, matter of fact, now this is a funny story. I couldn't even get a copy from you because you don't even have anything but a regular store-bought copy because the original master was accidentally destroyed. So the only copies that you can get are ones that you just find floating around on the street if you're lucky to get one.
Exactly, and unfortunately, that's what the problem for a lot of these lower-budget movies is. They just disappear. I do have my one copy. I think I might have made a couple of friends of mine copies off of it, but maybe one day I will be able to find one of the.
I mean, the one copy that I have, the very one that we used for this week's episode, was one I bought off of eBay. It cost me almost $40. Can you believe that? Did you ever imagine that somebody would pay $40 for your movie?
No, but I could certainly use the $40.
That's right. I guess if you want the movie, you could buy it directly from you, and you could dub it right off for them, couldn't you?
Well, yeah, but I think it might take a little bit too long to start dubbing movie after movie.
Yeah, you know.
One day I might be able to locate an actual copy of the master, but I'm hoping it's in a box somewhere. One of these days I might find it.
Hopefully so. So just wanted to let everybody know that it is possible for you to make your own movie and have something happen to it. And John here is living proof. Well, John, we're going to have to say goodbye to you because I have to say goodbye to everybody. So it was nice having you on the show, and we will be having you again with some of your other spectacular flicks.
Well, thank you, Bob. I had a really good time being here, and I hope everyone enjoyed the movie. It was a labor of love. It's not the best movie, but we had a great time doing it, and hope you enjoyed it.
I'm glad we could all be a part of it. That was John. And thank all of you for watching this week's episode of Stupid Movie of the Week. You can watch us here every week, same bat time, same bat channel. Don't forget to check us out on the World Wide Web at www.stupidmovieoftheweek.com, where you can click to sign up to win a free Video Bob Stupid Movie of the Week t-shirt if we use your questions or comments on the air. So check out our website, send us a message, send us a request for a movie or show that you'd like to see here on Stupid Movie. And until next time, stay stupid. I'm Video Bob for Stupid Movie of the Week.
moves on.
How come you never graduated this shithole?
Fucking jerk-off principal. You screwed me over. Little bastards. I'd like to kill them all.
You sure this shit's in there, right?
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, unless that fucking shithead janitor's moved it, it should be in the wall somewhere.
What the fuck happened? I don't know, you press the fucking button.
They're coming!
We got a great show for you tonight.
All right. Put it up to full.
I give it one thumb up. Come on, baby.
That poor girl.
Remember, this is the movies. A little tap will do ya. Now it's time for another video.
They are fantastic.
Boy, we're having some fun tonight.
This is the best thing that appeared on cable since Tribal Rock.
What is it this time, Mr. Emery? Another act of video violence?
This morning we found a tape in our Dropbox. It was a tape of a murder, shot on video.
This town has a strange preoccupation with violence. The only thing we seem to rent are gory horror movies.
The big thing to do on Saturday night is sit in front of the tube and watch people getting killed.
You lay off them monster movies for a while. You'll stick with the kiddie stuff.